Hi everyone and welcome. Thanks so much for taking the time to join us this afternoon. My name's Matt Carroll. I'm one of the co-lead authors of Geography Transformed. I'm the head of HISI at Janelli High School in the south of Sydney, and I've been working closely with Rex Cook, who's the other co-lead author, and he's the head of geography at St. Ignatius Riverview. So I thought I'd start with a very quick revisit and snapshot of the main changes that have occurred with the new geography curriculum for stage 4 and 5 being rolled out, as we all know, in 2027. So the big ones for me, and I strongly believe that Geography Transformed has adapted and placed a lot of emphasis on, is that focus on writing and literacy, the alignments to the new HSE geography course, which was assessed for the first time in 2025, and that emphasis on case studies, and the really important skill in geography, which is applying both of our knowledge and skills. So these are the core guiding questions which underpin any quality planning or programming for any new syllabus. But these have certainly been the foundation for Geography Transformed. How does the new curriculum fit into the geography continuum, into stage 6? So as we know, to achieve the best results for our geography students, we obviously have to look at the end product, which is this new and improved HSE geography exam, and designing our stage 4 and 5 programs to build on the essential core geographical content and skills. So the new HSE exam has that real strong emphasis on student case studies. We've seen the emergence of new questions like the structured response and also the cross-topic question in the short answer section. There has been a small decrease from 20 multiple choice questions down to 15. I think anyone that's been involved in geography education will understand the challenge of balancing having really good case studies with how do I teach skills and concepts and literacy. And I think we've done that really well with the new product, and obviously assisting teachers that are teaching geography out of area or out of field. So as I go through these 10 factors, I really want you to think about two things. What would make this easier for me to teach, and what would make this easier for my students to access, to understand, and also enjoy. So every lesson is built around a purposeful inquiry question or overarching focus, so students understand what they're investigating and why it matters. So rather than jumping around between disconnected activities or syllabus dot points, the lesson sequence that we've designed, it follows a clear direction. So students are guided from curiosity with the GeoSpark to explicit content, to skills, case studies, and also literacy and assessment style application at the end. So this helps maintain engagement while also supporting that logical progression of learning. For students, they know where the topic's going, why it matters, and how each lesson and activity builds their understanding. The resource has been designed with real classroom timeframes in mind. So each unit is carefully structured around a manageable sequence of lessons with approximately 30 lessons maximum per unit. And that aligns to what most of us probably have within our schools, which is around 5 to 6 periods allocated towards HISI or geography per fortnight. And this allows teachers to cover the required content without feeling rushed or overwhelmed. The big thing for me is that we don't shy away from content, and having each lesson span across 3 to 4 pages with really purposeful content, activities, skills, and also questions. It gives teachers enough depth to support explicit teaching while still keeping the lesson achievable within that normal school timetable. You have access to the scope and sequence documents for stage 4 and stage 5, which with each focus area connected to the syllabus outcomes. We also have the end of unit assessments as well, with the weighting and reporting outcomes there. So here you can see a more detailed scope and sequence on the topic landscapes and landforms, which was written by Rex Cook. We've mapped out every single lesson across the entire unit with a designated case study section here on the Blue Mountains. We've also integrated skills in a skills blitz or a skills block, and then the case study at the end there on the geomorphic hazard. the GeoSpark, which is the very first lesson, really contemporary case studies and challenging inquiry questions to immediately engage students in the topic. So rather than beginning with that sort of standard boring definition lesson on, for example, what is a biome, each unit begins with a real world problem that students can question, investigate, and connect to their own lives. So for the Sustainable Biomes and Agriculture unit, we're looking at the GeoSpark here on what is the Svalbard Sea Vault. Or within the unit on interconnections and trade, we're looking at the Rana Plaza factory collapse. So what's the hidden cost of your clothes? Looking for a story as a hook to get students thinking and talking and loving geography. So each lesson opens with a clear learning intention, student-friendly success criteria, and a really short lesson starter or starter activity or do now. Some of you might be familiar with that language. So it's all about low stakes, retrieval, or some sort of stimulus activity to engage students immediately. I know a lot of schools sort of mandate their staff to have learning intentions, success criteria, and also a do now or a lesson starter. The textbook covers all of that for you. And there's a really rich range of lesson starter activities. Each lesson provides, as I've spoken to briefly previously, a substantial 3 to 4 page sequence of content, stimulus material, case studies, and activities, and it allows students to build genuine depth of knowledge and understanding. So rather than skimming over key terms or rushing through dot points, students are guided through carefully developed explanations, examples, and geographical thinking tasks that directly link to syllabus outcomes. Rather than treating case studies as optional examples, this textbook embeds them as the foundation for deep learning. So carefully selected case studies allow students to explore multiple syllabus dot points through one meaningful real-world example, helping them develop stronger understanding, stronger recall, and stronger written responses. As a HSC teacher and a HSC marker, this approach, I believe, better prepares students for Stage 6 geography, where students are expected to use detailed place-based examples, evidence, and case studies to explain complex processes and issues. So this textbook includes a clear geographical skills continuum, supported by regular skills blitz activities. These short, purposeful skill blocks are embedded throughout each topic, so students can practice the relevant skills that are relevant to that particular topic, whilst also learning content. We've used things like QR codes, videos, and stimulus material and skill-based questions to support student understanding and to make the resource accessible for all teachers, including those that may be teaching geography out of field. And you can see that clearly embedded in our scope and sequence documents, where it's best to sort of pause with content and do around 2 weeks or a fortnight of skills block. So it helps kind of break up that content. And like I said, the skills are meaningfully integrated, the skills that are relevant to that particular topic. Here is a standard skills lesson. These lessons have clear learning intentions, success criteria. There's a really useful sort of explanation of the skill. And there's also the QR code videos to access for the skills explainers and the how-to guides from Sammy and Alan. Each skills chapter also includes some checking your understanding questions, developing your understanding, extending your understanding, and then some creative tasks as well. So as we've just seen from Andrew's presentation, literacy skills development is explicitly embedded throughout each chapter. Students are supported through comprehension questions, geographical concept questions, thinking and working geographically activities, and then we have a real strong emphasis on paragraph writing, structured response questions, backward mapped from year 12, and also extended response tasks. There are model and annotated answers as well to help both teachers and students understand what good quality writing actually looks like in geography. So those end of chapter writing tasks prepare students for Stage 6 expectations and the new HSC style exam format. You can see here again, both structured response questions with marking criteria and sample answers and some extended response question there as well. So the textbook supports assessment through the learning process, not just at the end of the unit. Each chapter includes regular formative check-ins, chapter summaries, revision activities that help students consolidate key knowledge, practice their geographical skills, and identify gaps in their understanding. So at the end of each unit, some summative assessment opportunities allow students to apply their learning through structured responses, extended writing, stimulus analysis, and case study questions. So this gives teachers ready-made assessment options while helping students build confidence with the kinds of tasks that they will encounter in stage 6. Lastly, as HSC geography teachers, certainly myself and Rex, we know that students need strong foundations long before that they enter stage 6. So this textbook deliberately builds those foundations throughout stage 4 and 5 by integrating structured responses, extended writing, skills, case studies, concepts, and evidence-based thinking. So rather than waiting until senior years to introduce these demands, students are gradually exposed to the types of thinking, writing, and skills that they need for success in stage 6 geography.